When we look, you can see families were more than willing to go to the box office to support something like the Minecraft movie, while Rachel Zegler's Snow White continues to plunge.
She's literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is? Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
This is it. Chicken
Minecraft in the United States in one weekend made more money than Snow White has made globally after 3 weekends. That's how bad it is right now.
I don't think they're going to buy it. I don't think they're going to watch it. I don't think they're going to like it.
Warner Brothers' Minecraft movie versus Disney's Snow White, which in theory should be quite a battle, but it's not even a fair fight. And it's pretty hysterical, actually, to watch.
There's no way that Snow White is going to recover.
Every single one of these reviews is just absolutely brutal. And what you also need to know is that these are not politically driven reviews. I mean, most of them are from the camp that should be supporting Disney, that should be behind this new progressive take on Snow White, and yet they can't, because the film is apparently just that bad.
Rachel Zegler is a loudmouth dope.
Right, we're talking about ultra-far leftists, people who believe that men and women are a figment of your imagination, that your money is not your own, that your family is not your own, and that your country is not your own. That's what woke me.
Snow White, of course, famously played by the insufferable girl boss narcissist, who's just clinical at this point.
Now, there is no doubt about it that Snow White 2025 is considered by far one of the worst box office failures, not just with Disney, but also in the entire film history when it comes down to live-action remakes.
DC said Disney's Snow White has a major identity crisis.
But it says, meanwhile, over in the kingdom of crumbling crowns, Disney's Snow White dropped like an enchanted apple.
What they really mean is they're describing a worldview that hates you. That hates everything America stands for.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Saying that audiences will always line up to see her no matter what she does.
Every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
You know what's interesting about all of this is that the only person waiting in line to see Snow White was Rachel Zegler.
It doesn't need a prince to save her, and not surrounded by 7 weird people. Oh, okay, just CGI fictional goblins, I guess.
Well, we all basically knew that Snow White was going to be a massive failure at the box office because of Rachel Zegler's controversial statement.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
You know, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it. You didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White.
Right.
You should shut up and do the job.
Chicken
Looks like Rachel Zegler had a meltdown after seeing the opening numbers for the Minecraft movie. It totally crushed Snow White at the box office. You won't believe how badly Disney messed up. They basically handed the win to a bunch of blocks. While Disney struggles with its weak live-action Snow White, the Minecraft movie just smashed it at the box office, making Disney's latest attempt look like a low-budget YouTube video.
And of course, this weekend, Minecraft came out, which has absolutely dominated the box office, done significantly better than analysts even projected. And now we're finding out that Snow White has officially crossed $160 million.
So, it got destroyed at the box office. Here's the box office numbers. The Minecraft movie made $60 million on Saturday. Snow White made $2 million.
Critics said the Minecraft movie would fail. They thought it was too simple, too childish, or too blocky to succeed in big theaters. But surprise, it made a massive $300 million worldwide on its opening, proving all the so-called experts wrong. Meanwhile, Snow White barely made $77 million after weeks in theaters. Yep, even with Disney's huge marketing and all the hype, it flopped hard. Like, let's pretend this never happened levels of bad. The worst part? Disney was counting on nostalgia to save the film, ignoring all the warnings from fans. Turns. Out. Messing with your own classic fairy tale isn't the best way to bring people to the movies. And this is just the beginning. There's more drama ahead, including chaos behind the scenes, blame flying everywhere, and a lead actress who seems to have forgotten she's playing one of the most iconic characters in film history.
Turned over 157 million while earning another 144 million internationally. The Minecraft video game was introduced in 2011 and sold more than 300 million copies. So it actually has a fan base, user base, people that care about it. In theory, Snow White should as well. Snow White's the movie that made Disney, the studio. They should have been more cautious and careful with their own IP. It's a $1 billion IP. The Disney Snow White, faithfully adapted, would have made $1 billion.
Now, let's talk about Rachel Zegler, the outspoken newcomer at the center of this whole mess. For some reason, Disney thought it was a great idea to cast someone who openly criticized the original Snow White, the same film that helped build the entire Disney empire and is still loved around the world. And she called it outdated. Nice move, Disney. You gave one of your most iconic roles to someone who treated the classic like it was trash. According to tons of frustrated fans online, Zegler made the movie less about telling a great story and more about turning every interview into a lecture. She slammed the original fairy tale for being outdated during press tours, which didn't exactly win over the audience.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. Super weird. So we didn't do that this time.
It's like the audience showed up for a magical fairy tale and got a lecture instead. Nobody was asking for a 21st century scolding wrapped in a Disney movie. Imagine being excited to see a heartfelt reimagining of Snow White, only to hear the lead actress mocking everything you loved about it. Yeah, not exactly a great strategy. Now, to be fair, Zegler isn't the only reason the movie bombed, but her tone-deaf comments definitely didn't help. You'd think Disney would step in, maybe give her a crash course in how not to insult the fan base. But nope, they let her go off script, dragging the original movie and talking like the classic version needed to be fixed. And surprise, Disney fans weren't into that. People don't want their childhood favorites rewritten by someone who clearly doesn't respect the story. The result? Crickets, empty theaters, a box office flop that could have been avoided if Disney just listened to the people who actually care about their legacy.
See? Literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is?
Disney's management stayed weirdly silent, just letting the whole mess play out, like they had no idea why fans were so upset. There was a time when Disney was the king of family movies, untouchable. Now, it's like that out-of-touch relative at a party who won't stop talking about the good old days, then tries to serve everyone kale smoothies when all people want is cake. Look, a little update here and there is fine. Stories can grow with the times. But when Disney changes its classics so much that they don't even feel like the originals anymore, that's when you know something's gone wrong. It's not about improving the story. It's about completely missing what made it special in the first place.
So you had the marketing material not being all that good. A lot of advertisements were really mediocre for this film. And to top it off, they made tons of changes and they strayed away from the source material, which upset a lot of fans.
According to insider leaks, this Snow White disaster was a mess from day one. The script went through rewrite after rewrite, each one more awkward than the last, trying way too hard to be modern and progressive. They were so focused on patting themselves on the back for their messaging, they forgot the most important part of any movie, telling a good story that people actually care about. Instead of keeping the heart and magic of the original fairy tale, they loaded the movie with obvious political themes. So in your face, it almost felt like there should have been campaign posters in the background. The charm was lost, and fans noticed.
Whereas the Snow White model is the message ad infinitum, shoved directly up your ass, and, most importantly, in the most insufferable possible way, like screamed at you by an ugly woman for 2 hours.
It gets worse. But before we dive back in, don't forget to like and subscribe. Because let's be real, unlike Rachel Zegler, I actually know I'm nothing without your support. Now, back to the tea. The few fans who sat through early screenings tried to warn everyone. The movie didn't feel like a magical adventure. It felt like a dull lecture. And how did Disney react? by doubling down on the lectures. Now they're stuck with the results. An embarrassing box office flop and a very public mess. But hey, at least they can brag about how forward-thinking they were, right? Meanwhile, while Disney was too busy shooting itself in the foot, the Minecraft movie was out there printing money like it was on autopilot, proof that when you actually give audiences what they want, they show up.
And so let's see how they fared against each other. The Minecraft movie breaks box office record with $300 million global opening, while woke Snow White slips again. Minecraft movie was a big winner, debut weekend, $300 million.
Critics laughed it off, calling it just another video game movie. What they didn't get is that Minecraft isn't just a game, it's a global phenomenon. You've got kids playing it on tablets, teens streaming it on YouTube, and adults who've been building blocky worlds since the beginning. And guess what? When you focus on fun, adventure, and leave the politics at the door, people show up. Turns out, giving audiences a good time, not a lecture, is still a winning formula.
Encouraging to see a movie that decided to do the opposite of Snow White, which is, according to all available reviews, including from the people that I trust the very most on this platform, it is non-political. The Minecraft movie does not try to beat you and box you about the ears with the message. It is just silly fun for kids, which is what a kids movie should be.
The theaters were packed. Some showings were so loud it felt like a rock concert. I'm talking even the cops had to escort some wild kids out for freaking out and having way too much fun.
Okay, Snitch.
And the cops had to escort the rowdy teenagers out. The Minecraft movie is doing something magical. It's creating a live audience reaction event where people are going to just be part of something to interact with the movie itself. The kind of thing that really creates like a kinetic movement.
And guess who's leading the charge in voice acting? Jack Black. Yeah, he's said some controversial things in the past, but the guy knows how to bring that comedic energy that gets people in the door. Audiences immediately fell in love with the movie's playful vibe, praising it for staying true to the spirit of the game, something Disney probably should have done with Snow White. But here's the real kicker. Critics gave the film a lousy 40% on review sites, while regular viewers rated it a solid 87%. Shows you just how out of touch the so-called experts can be when it comes to what people actually want.
You can see here the Minecraft movie is 48% on Rotten Tomatoes, 87% audience score. That's kind of all that matters because these people pay the bills, these people don't.
So, who's out of touch now? This is exactly what happens when studio bigwigs stop focusing on moral grandstanding and let their creators just tell entertaining stories. Critics can whine all they want, but the paying public has spoken, and their wallets are louder than any self-righteous film review. It's 2025, and it seems like Hollywood's just now figuring out that preachy politics don't fill theater seats. Look, audiences aren't allergic to social commentary, but they want it served with a little subtlety, not hammered in with all the finesse of a wrecking ball. Yet, for some reason, major studios keep churning out these moral of the week movies and act shocked when ticket sales tank. Snow White is just the latest casualty. Instead of trusting the timeless fairy tale formula, Disney insisted on fixing it. The irony? The original story already has bravery, friendship, and all that good stuff. But no, the suits decided it needed to be updated to please the Twitter crowd. Big gamble, and it backfired spectacularly. Now they're stuck with a multi-million-dollar lecture that fans can't stand.
This movie exists, by the way. You can't tell me Minecraft is the worst movie of 2025 when Snow White exists. That's right. Minecraft movies are going to make more in a weekend than Snow White's made in its entire theatrical run, and we know why.
On the flip side, Minecraft soared precisely because it didn't lecture. It respected its audience enough to just deliver pure escapist fun. Want to see pixelated zombies chasing your favorite blocky hero? Great. You got it. Craving and uplifting. Adventure for the whole family? Done. No wonder it's making the big bucks. So what's the moral of the story? Shoving woke ideas down viewers' throats doesn't exactly pay off.
Teens in suits shouting lines, cheering like it was a concert. Check out the energy. Unreal. Disney Snow White is flopping hard. Why did Minecraft win? Because they stayed true to their actual audience. If Disney had made a faithful adaptation to the original Snow White, it would have made $1 billion.
Now, let's circle back to the headliner of this whole hot mess, Rachel Zegler. She's quickly becoming the poster child for how not to sell a movie. Is that fair? Maybe not entirely. After all, she's not the one writing the scripts or making the executive decisions. But man, does she make a convenient scapegoat. And her big mouth? Well, that was the cherry on top, giving Disney the perfect excuse to let her take all the blame.
The reason why is partially because of Rachel Zegler, but also because of the entire garbage movie itself. We keep blaming Rachel Zegler, and she's an easy scapegoat. I think they're scapegoating her on purpose, but the entire movie was trash. All of Rachel Zegler didn't write Snow White. Right? Rachel Zegler didn't cast Snow White. The studio did. It's a Disney problem. Disney did these things.
Insiders are whispering about heated boardroom meetings at Disney HQ, where execs are pointing fingers at each other. Some are furious that Ziegler's pre-release interviews practically sabotaged fan goodwill. Others argue management should have shut down her media appearances after the first few PR disasters. Either way, it's a blame game of epic proportions, and Zegler's doubling down on the modernization angle, preaching to an audience that simply isn't buying it. And let's not forget the casting controversy. A Colombian-American actress playing a character famously described as having skin white as snow. Disney insisted the choice was about inclusivity, while traditionalists saw it as a slap in the face to the original lore. Whether you agree or not, the studio created an endless debate that overshadowed anything else the movie might have done right. For a company that prides itself on tight brand control, this was a rookie-level publicity meltdown. It would be easy to laugh off Snow White as just another one-time failure, but fans are seeing a pattern. Disney is losing its edge. The box office numbers don't lie. It's been a string of underperforming or outright disastrous live-action remakes, some overshadowed by controversy, others simply too bland to matter. The difference this time is that they touched a sacred classic, slapped on a forced ideological veneer, and let an unseasoned star run the press circuit. To make matters worse, an unnamed Hollywood insider claims there's major infighting behind closed doors. Certain execs are furious with the marketing team for not adjusting when early reactions to the casting surfaced. Others are pointing the finger at the scriptwriters, accusing them of ignoring test audiences. And in the middle of it all is Disney's, once golden brand, now tarnished by questionable decisions that make them look, well, stupid. It's almost comical, a giant conglomerate undone by its own hubris. Snow White was supposed to be a safe bet, but they pushed too hard on the moralizing, and it blew up in their faces. So, here we are. Folks, a pixel art game that started as a humble indie project has just demolished Disney's big-budget fairy tale remake. You can't make this stuff up. The message from viewers is loud and clear. They want to have fun at the movies, not attend a sermon. Minecraft delivered on that front, with negative reviews only fueling public curiosity. As for Disney, they're licking their wounds, trying to figure out how they messed up something as straightforward as Snow White. The question on everyone's mind is, where does Disney go from here? Will they keep rewriting classic stories into shallow public service announcements? Or will they finally learn the lesson that audiences keep shouting from the rooftops, respect the source material, and stop talking down to the people who buy the tickets? As for Rachel Zegler, who knows what her next move will be? She might bounce back with a better role in a film that doesn't treat its heritage like a dusty relic, or she might continue playing the villain in this drama, insisting she's the misunderstood hero. But after this fiasco, fans have made it clear they're not interested in condescending lectures, no matter how modern they claim to be. Drop your opinions in the comments. We love to hear your take on this crazy topic. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay ahead of the Hollywood meltdown. We'll keep digging up the bombshell evidence the mainstream media tiptoes around. Because if this Snow White versus Minecraft beatdown has proven anything, it's that woke is officially broke at the box office. And we're the ones who pulled the plug.